Good afternoon, this is Rich Nelson with Allendale covering the wrap-up commodity comments. Today is Wednesday, May 4th of 2011. General commodity-wide selling kind of seen across the spectrum. We did, of course, see, though the U.S. dollar was down 16 here in the last trade, we do see that most commodities did spend some time looking at lower prices here. Crude oil down about $1.82, for instance, in the last trade here. We do have one commodity as far as the grains, which did kind of manage to hold this ground. Corn up 5 3/4 for July, up about 3 cents here for the new crop December contract. Some key issues we're kind of looking at here today. We did get some disappointing news earlier on this morning with the weekly ethanol production number. The Department of Energy said 875,000 barrels per day was last week's average production. That was down from the previous week's 883,000 barrels. And keep in mind, since January 1, we've been kind of looking at a range anywhere from 922 down to 882,000 barrels. So in other words, today's number did put them below this range we've been at here for some time here. So a little disappointing as far as the ethanol numbers. We can point out, though, good news should be seen on next Wednesday's monthly supply and demand report. We do expect USDA to slowly drop a little bit on old crop ending stocks, down from 675 million bushels down to 643. So a slight decline there. We should see ethanol and feed being the numbers being pushed up on that report. For new crop numbers, we will keep in mind that, with all these extra plantings, we will see a higher ending stock. However, the number is not as large as what USDA was thinking back in February. We're expecting new crop ending stocks to be only 783 million bushels. So in other words, just a slight increase from the old crop year. And one thing we can point out is USDA will be lowering yield on next Wednesday's report. Back in February, they said 161.7. Allendale is saying that with the delayed plantings, we're going to be at 160.5 on the Wednesday's report. So keep in mind, lower yield should be seen on this one here. For soybeans, down 11 3/4 for old crop, down 15 3/4 for new crop. So bottom line, lower price for soybeans. We can point out Taiwan did purchase about 60,000 tons. So one boatload of Brazilian soybeans. Kind of rubbed in our face the fact that U.S. is not an exporter right now is still a main concern here for us. Also, as I can see from this board here to my right and to your left, we're all still looking at exports being a key issue for tomorrow morning. We get the weekly export numbers at 7:30 Central Time tomorrow morning. We'll wonder if we get another weak number for old crop sales. So we're still watching that with a little bit of concern. Also, we can point out that a report for next Wednesday should not be bullish for soybeans. Allendale expects an increase in old crop ending stocks from 140 million bushels up to 180 million bushels. We are looking at the fact that we saw some problems with domestic crush as well as exports. So we are lowering demand for both of those categories. New crop ending stocks should be about the same as last year, or same as this old crop. We have new crop at 181. Over on wheat, down 21 1/4. The main thing we're looking at here is the fact that during this whole Wheat Quality Council crop tour through most of Kansas, we're all expecting these guys to find some pretty rough fields, and certainly the western and southwestern edges being the worst of it. Got to say, though, the talk out of this morning's reports, they found an average bushel out of three counties, an average bushel yield at 31. Versus a normal 39. That's not the type of devastation that the trade was looking at. It is bad, certainly some poor issues, but certainly nothing like what the trade was thinking that they would see. So that's a little disappointing and certainly dragged down the wheat overall here today. As far as Wednesday's report, we don't look for any major changes for old crop, going from 839 million bushels down to 834 is Allendale's expectation here. We will note that new crop numbers will be reflective of some of the problems we have with winter wheat production. We view the USDA's first guess at new crop to be 586 million bushels. Over on livestock, not a whole lot to speak of other than the fact that, we finally held ground is the biggest thing we can point out here today. June holding steady right now on the cattle. This came in the fact that in the face of lower box beef reports, the morning report had choice down 36 and select down about 94 as far as the box beef. So combine that with the fact that we also just traded cash cattle at 115. That was down $1 to $2 from last week. So we still have some trouble here in the cattle. Should be some time before this is all sorted out. Over on the hog side, after yesterday's limit down day, it was good to see things kind of held ground at least. We did have some contracts trade actually steady, if not a little higher today. So that was good to see as far as the hogs. At this point, though, we can't say that we're quite out of the woods yet. Packers have reduced Saturday kill numbers. They were talking 10 to 15,000 head just yesterday. This morning we see it's down to either 0 or up to 5,000 head. So certainly a weak Saturday kill shows these guys are not going to go after the product here. But our main goal for the hogs is maybe by the end of the week, maybe not starting a rally, but at least trying to get some stability in here. Perhaps we'll see some weather forecasts change in the next few days, and maybe we'll get some warm and dry to quote-unquote start the outdoor grilling season. So overall, a lot of news going out here today. Certainly the biggest news is our estimates for the monthly supply and demand report. That is coming out next Wednesday. To help you guys out, we are going to put a special webinar together tomorrow, which will certainly cover some of the key topics to look at on this report next Wednesday, and also what our estimates are for this as well. So keep on top of that. If you have any questions about markets or marketing, give us a call here at Allendale, 1-800-262-7538. This is Rich Nelson. Have a good trading day and a good trading week.